So you probably already have more than enough qualifications. I'm all for a growth mindset. I'm all for lifelong learning. But there comes a time when you maybe know enough about something. And I'm speaking specifically here to fitness and health professionals who hoard certificates and who are junkies for the latest new course, where they're spending every weekend learning how to hold boxing pads or how to hold yoga poses or how to teach Olympic weightlifting. And I've noticed that this phenomenon specifically occurs in this profession, but I know it's not unique and it's not confined to health and fitness professionals. Now, of course, again, we're not talking about stopping lifelong learning, but we are talking about getting to the point when you feel like you know enough of something, and knowing enough of something because you've compromised your ability to learn something else to be able to learn more of that thing that you're going deep on. And the key phrase here is in spite of something else. You see, as you start to learn more, the time spent on learning about a topic that you're already relatively proficient in has an opportunity cost. And the opportunity cost is basically the things that you have to say no to because you've said yes to learning more about that topic that you already know a lot about. So the question here is not, can I learn more about the thing that I already specialize in, but can I learn more about those things in which maybe my knowledge is lacking? Now, I've got a firm belief that you can learn 80% of everything you need to know on a topic in about 20 hours. In the first 10 hours of those 20 hours, you've probably learned 50% of everything. And the more time you spend, the less extra knowledge you start to gain. So those first 20 hours where you learn 80% of something, it may take you another 2 years to get to 85 or 90%. And it will take you a lifetime to try and achieve that complete expertise and mastery where you know 99 or 100% of a certain topic. Now, in his book Outliers, the author Malcolm Gladwell talked about the 10,000 hour rule and talked about the fact that you need to spend 10,000 hours on something to achieve mastery or extreme expertise. Now, this has been misrepresented in the media, in self-help, to say that you need to do 10,000 hours to be competent at something, but this is absolutely not the case. Gladwell's findings in his position was that you need these 10,000 hours to become expert in this thing. And we don't necessarily need to be experts in everything we do. Sometimes good enough is good enough, and a high degree of competency can be achieved in much less than these 10,000 hours. Now, another book on this topic by the author Josh Kaufman talks about how you can learn 80%, as I mentioned, of something in 20 hours. This book is called The First 20 Hours, talking about how you can achieve a high degree of competency in a very short amount of time. Now, obviously, if someone was going to be performing brain surgery on you, you would want that surgeon to have 10,000 surgeries under their belt as opposed to 20 surgeries under their belt. That being said, this is someone who is an absolute specialist, someone who is an eye-shaped person. They have a very narrow breadth of knowledge and a very deep depth of knowledge. And we can contrast this with a dash-shaped person, someone who has a very low or a very shallow depth of knowledge, but a very broad range of knowledge. This is your all-rounder, your jack of all trades. But how about if we were to combine these two shapes, the eye and the dash? Well, this starts to look like the love child of the author David Epstein, who talks in his book Range about the importance of having a broad range of competencies, and the author Angela Duckworth in her book Grit, which talks about perseverance and the need to persist with a certain topic, area of content or area of speciality that you are engrossed and passionate about long enough to achieve a high degree of mastery in that topic. Now, instead of a dash-shaped person, as David Epstein may talk about, or an eye-shaped person, as Angela Duckworth may talk about, we have a T-shaped person. Someone who has a broad range of knowledge, and they can then use that breadth of knowledge to solve the unique problems in their specific niche. So if we come back to the certificate hoarding course junkie health and fitness professionals, what can we do? How can we take action to build this T-shape? Well, the first thing you can do is to admit that you probably know enough about a certain topic. And sure, you'll keep reading, you'll keep learning, but not at the expense of something else. You see, you are not struggling to be a better fitness professional because your resume is incomplete. You are not pushing clients away from you because they think you don't know enough about fitness. you're pushing clients away and you're failing to acquire and gain new clients because all the time that you spent learning how to hold the boxing pads and do Pilates and activate your transverse abdominis muscles and all of these tiny little courses that you're accumulating, the time spent doing this had an opportunity cost where you weren't learning about marketing, human psychology, economics, accounting, and 1,000 other skills which are going to make you better at what you do. You have done enough fitness courses. Expand your knowledge, expand your breadth of expertise, become T-shaped rather than I-shaped. And of course, there comes a time when you just have to take action, because I can almost promise you that your lack of success is not coming from a lack of certificates, but a lack of effort. And sometimes, unfortunately, the answer is just to work harder. So here are your two takeaways. The first is to broaden your knowledge base, and the second is to take definite action. We're not just looking for motion, we're not just looking for courses, we're looking for action, the application of what you've learned.